Feel like you guys going to have a 2 week routine that's going to be helpful going into this bowl game?
Uh, no, that wasn't incredibly helpful, but no, we'll just keep practicing. Like I said, work the young guys early, worked them a lot today, and then we'll get the other guys rolling at the appropriate time. But we've been keeping them sharp up to this point.
Colorado State has a 3,000-yard passer and a 1,500-yard rusher. Have you been impressed with their balance?
Uh, I don't worry about them very much. I think more about us and what we're going to do, and worry about us and our distribution to everybody. And I've already given my thoughts on balance in the past.
Have you looked at film on them though, or what's kind of the makeup of their team when you look at them?
Good team, I think they're a physical team. They play hard. They've got a good running back, and then I think that they're real sound. They don't take themselves out of plays. They play together pretty well, and also I think they emerged as the season went on.
Where were you when you found out you guys were going bowling and all that, or where?
I was at the office watching film. Yep.
Never a day off.
No, not really. We'd practiced earlier that day. We'd practiced earlier in the day, so I was already in the office.
Kind of hit on it a bit, but how nice is it getting these extra practice times, especially with the younger players that you didn't have last year?
Really important, very important. We've gotten good work up to this point, and we'll get some. We'll get a little more, but no, it's really important, especially leading into the off season.
How much of a different feel and practice do you sense from the guys this week now that they actually know that they've achieved the bowl game, whereas last week there was maybe a little bit of uncertainty?
Well,
in terms of when you were at practice.
You guys might have some uncertainty. I really didn't, and I doubt they did unless they, read too much of the bunk that's written. But no, it was business as usual. Worked hard, and if you start to develop the right guys, then they value their work, they value their improvement, and there shouldn't be too much of a shift.
How nice is it to get to this point, especially for the guys that were here before you? Guys that have been here 4 or 5 years that may, even a couple years ago, may have had a little bit of doubt that they were ever going to get to this point, and here they are.
Well, I think it's good. But I think it's a cumulative effort from a lot of guys, everybody playing together, and just the value of focusing on individual effort, individual plays, and doing it simultaneously together over an extended period. And I think that's what we've developed and improved the most. We've got a long ways to go, but I think steady improvement of that, I think it kind of suggests where you're headed if you do that.
You spoke about how the Apple Cup helped the team heading into the off season. How does this game take extra importance so you can have that same kind of effect?
Well, all games are important. I think they're all important. It's not like we coast and all of a sudden say, "Oh, this one's important. We're going to try hard." If we're the right type of team, you try hard all the time. If you're giving everything you got, there's not some extra reserve that you draw from or invest in between.
Coach, you said you had some experience in Albuquerque. I guess what are some of your memories or times there, just coaching or visiting?
Been there several times. I've been there several times. Coached there a number of times against the University of New Mexico. Santa Fe is a great town if you've never been there. So is Albuquerque, but more spread out. But it's beautiful country, and gone skiing there a bunch.
You get green chili while you're there?
They have a lot. They're big into the green peppers, and they'll have it with eggs, everything. The other thing is there's a kind of a variety of food that's influenced from a number of directions that it's really good. They have really good food out there.
How hard is it this week balancing? You got a lot of guys taking finals, obviously. How hard is it to balance that with still trying to get work done out here?
Well, it's a real erratic schedule. In the end, you'd like to have a little more time off this week than we're able to have. The biggest thing, it hadn't been too bad. You just bounce the schedule around, and so it seems like every day we're practicing at a different time. But that's to accommodate their academics, which is important. So.
Anything else for Coach?
Mike, was Nelson Mandela someone who interested you much over the years?
I think he's remarkably impressive. One of my roommates in college was from South Africa, and has told me quite a lot about it. I think the single most impressive thing about Nelson Mandela was, I mean, first of all, you had a lot of conflicting forces there. Even among the tribesmen, they didn't necessarily get along either. But I think what was most impressive, and that he did superior in South Africa that other places did not do, because, as there's a shift in power in a lot of those places in Africa, the place turns into a shambles. That didn't happen in South Africa, and part of the reason it didn't happen is Mandela talked all about bringing people together. And so when he got out of prison, which takes an incredible amount of patience, and nearly everybody else in history would have come out of there with a great deal of bitterness. And what Mandela was able to do was bring them all together. It's not like all of a sudden, all right, well, we're in charge now, so we're going to crush everybody that else around here that opposed us. I mean, he united those people that opposed him. It's not like there were, he kept the infrastructure solid, which was incredibly brilliant, and I think they continue to fortify it, and and then eventually made his enemies friends, so that South Africa was stronger as a result.